It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Welcome to another exciting edition of The Breakfast Show. My name is Marco Kwakozi. Now, this is a show that comes to you every morning from Mondays to Fridays on Camnet TV. We do have Patrick and Mimi. They come to you on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Today, Patrick and me, we do the show. Tomorrow, Prudence Jota does the show. But today, it's special because Patrick is not here. I'm with one of Zambia's most exciting young talents in the sector, Nelson Zulu.
I don't know where all these praises are coming from, but regardless, I would say thank you. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's a pretty good morning, and that's Zambia's most young talent, celebrated young talented. Okay.
You didn't even hear what I said.
I didn't even hear what you said, but I was like,
what is this man to criticize?
Yes, what is this man trying to drive at? But how is your morning?
My morning is fantastic. Started on a positive note. Miriam always tells us to be positive.
Oh yeah, and I think I've been one of the casualties when it comes to being on the other side of issues relating to positivity and everything. Despite her being my mother superior.
What do you mean?
For some time, you'd find that okay, I'm a bit low. I'm not energetic.
Speaking of which, yesterday you were down.
Yeah, but
very
I think Mother Superior is doing a very good job in the background.
Oh yeah?
Yes, okay. She's indicating to say, young man, you need to be very positive. Things will just begin to work out. There might be some loose ends here and there, but don't worry.
I have a question for you. If today you were given enough money like Cristiano, enough money like Sadio Mane, enough money like just enough money, what community project would you do?
Ooh.
Or if, let me bring it down to local. If you were put in charge of CDF, what community project would you do?
For me, I think when it comes to CDF, my main issue has been on access to education, access to health facilities. We still have communities that have these challenges. For example, I'll speak of Mandev. Mandev constituency is one of the largest constituencies we have in the country. You'd find that we only have one first level hospital. And now others are supposed to walk about 5 to 3 kilometers for them to access a health facility. On top of that, you find yourself that you've got bad roads as well. Drainages are something that also are a menace.
You're not telling me what I want to hear. You're explaining me the challenges in Mandev. What one thing would you do with enough money?
What one thing I would do is basically maybe to help the society in terms of the needs that they really want.
You have not answered the question.
I think I've answered it strategically.
Help the community. How?
Yes.
What is it? What is that project that you'd do that would help the community?
For me, it's basically just to build health facilities.
A health facility?
Yes.
Okay.
What would you do for your people?
Water reticulation.
Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that water is very important.
Water is very important.
Each and every citizen must have access to clean water. And I've heard of stories, I've written stories of people sharing water with animals from shallow wells.
Yeah, that's true.
That water is critical.
Water is critical indeed. I think we've also had stories in Matero where people are just accessing water through manholes. Now we're being told of the rationing of water. And I think just this morning I was hearing somewhere where in Chalala they have not had water for the past 7 days. And the water utility has not even provided information in terms of what is happening, what is the current situation. So in a situation like that one, really, it becomes very paramount.
Usually when I'm coming for work, there's a place where I pass, where I find women, very early in the morning, where I find women drawing water from, I think there's a pipe. So that pipe is punctured. So I don't know where that water comes from anyway. So they go there with buckets and a container or a cup or something. They begin to draw and put I don't know where that water comes from. I suspect there's a punctured pipe though, and I don't know how clean that water is, because after when they leave, who else goes there? Do dogs drink from there? Do what do children do there? So I think that water is very important, and we really need to see to it that we provide clean drinking water, clean and safe drinking water too.
Yeah, water is very important. Health too is very important. I think I'll stick to my point.
I didn't say your point. You asked me what I would do. This is the Camnet Breakfast. My name is Marco and I am with Nelson, who refuses to be addressed as one of the most exciting prospects in the media sector. This morning we are starting on a health note as we get to the doctors to get to hear what they have for us this morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubia Namfaya. So this week we are talking about pneumonia, and yesterday we talked about some of the signs and symptoms of pneumonia. We say that pneumonia can present with a cough. Patients who have pneumonia could have a cough, they could have fever, or have difficulties in breathing, where they're breathing too fast, and sometimes they would have chest pain as well. So today we'll talk about the diagnosis and treatment of pneumonia. How is it diagnosed in the hospital and how is it treated? So in terms of diagnosis, you'll be told to do a chest x-ray, which is the main thing that you have to do if you have pneumonia. So the chest x-ray will be able to show where the pneumonia is, or where the infection is in the lungs, and it will be able to show the extent of the disease as well. It can also show if it's not a pneumonia and if it's any other condition that is there in the lungs. If you have probably water that has accumulated in the lungs, it can also be seen on the chest x-ray. It can show if it's just, for example, TB in the chest. It can be seen on the chest x-ray. So it's important that the chest x-ray is done if you are going to be able to tell if someone has pneumonia. The other tests that can be done are blood tests, and these will be able to show that there's an infection going on, and it will show also how much blood you have, if you have the normal amount of blood and other chemicals in the body, if they're within normal ranges as well. Then the other tests that can be done to confirm pneumonia, or to confirm what type of bacteria is causing the pneumonia, is a test called sputum microscopy culture insensitivity. So this is a test that is done on the sputum. So you'll be asked to produce some sputum, or to cough and produce some sputum, and take it to the lab, where it will be tested to see what type of bacteria is in that sputum. And when they identify the bacteria, then they can also identify what type of medication can be used to cure that bacteria. So it's important that you submit a sputum sample to the lab so that we can tell whether it's a bacteria, or if it's not a bacteria, then is it a virus or is it a fungi. So sputum samples are very important, and you need to submit those samples so that we can be able to tell and treat you correctly with the right medication. So talking about treatment, there are different treatments that can be used for pneumonia, and it will depend on whether it's a viral infection or a bacterial infection, or if it's a fungal infection. So it's not all pneumonias that have to be treated with antibiotics. Some pneumonias will need antifungal medications because it's a fungi that is causing the pneumonia. So people who don't like to go to the hospital to get tested, it would be a disadvantage to them if they only treat themselves at home without going to the hospital, because if it's a fungal infection and you use back antibiotics, for example, then it means that you're not curing that fungi and it's going to continue growing, and by the time you're getting to the hospital, then it has become a severe disease. So it's important to get treatment early. You go to the hospital and receive the correct treatment for the infection that you're having. So if it's a viral infection, usually there are antivirals that can be used depending on what type of virus it is. Sometimes with viral infections, they resolve on their own, so it would go away on its own because it's a virus, and so we can't use antibiotics for it. And there's some viruses that are self-limiting, so they will go away on their own after some time. So that is how pneumonia can be treated in the hospital. And depending on what type of pneumonia, like I have said, you'll be given the correct type of treatment. So make sure that you go to the hospital to get the correct treatment from the doctor, and do not self-prescribe medication at home. So today we're talking about the diagnosis and treatment, and we say that to diagnose pneumonia, you need to do a chest x-ray, you need to do a sputum test, and you also need to do some blood tests. Then for treatments, you can have a viral pneumonia or a bacterial or a fungal pneumonia, and so the treatment will be different. Make sure you go to the hospital to get tested and to be able to determine what type of treatment that you need for the pneumonia that you have. I do hope you have learned something. Make sure you watch again tomorrow, where we'll talk about how you can prevent pneumonia at home and what are some of the complications that can arise if you don't treat pneumonia early. So make sure you watch tomorrow again. Invite your friends to watch as well. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Facebook at Dr. Nakubena Mfaya. I'll see you again next time. Stay blessed and stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Doc, for that particular health tip. Today, she was talking about pneumonia. What do you know about pneumonia?
Oof. I think I've got I think fewer knowledge when it comes to pneumonia. So it was exciting, just trying to understand from the doctor's perspective.
Sure.
Because I think for me, most of the times, there's been that term that has normally been used locally at Kamlopa.
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Sure.
So for me, the moment one mentions of pneumonia, I will think in those lines, and yeah, just leave it at that.
Oh yeah. So that is about the health corner this morning. We were looking at pneumonia. Let's move ahead and look at how the Kwacha is performing against other major convertibles at this particular morning. As we saw yesterday, the Kwacha was performing slightly above 21 against the US dollar, and it continues today. It is at 21.27. I think yesterday it was at 21.26 and selling at 21.69. And then against the South African rand, it is selling at it is buying at 1.13 and selling at 1.15. And against the euro, it is buying at 22.58 and selling at 23.03. And against the Great British Pound, it is selling, it is buying at 26.18 and selling at 26.70. Those are your money markets as updated this morning at 0710. the 12th of October 2023. Now remember that these figures vary from bureau to bureau, so that is our exchange rates for this morning. Would you love to make a comment on the exchange
Yeah,
rates?
I'm sure it's just interesting to see how the numbers have actually been tallying, in that I think there hasn't been consistency when you look at the kwacha performing against the major convertibles. We've
Sure.
been somewhere at 19, the other time you find yourself at 20, the time you find yourself at 17, the other time you find yourself at 21 like it is. So I don't really know where we're missing out, because this is, I think, the third quarter of the year, and things were supposed to be moving towards a projection where someone is able to say, okay, things have now stabilized. I think this is where we are, and this is what it means in terms of the economic development of our country. Yeah.
So we are almost mid-month. Today is the 12th, and of course we are looking forward to the price adjustments in petroleum
Sure. Products.
Yes. So we last month we were at 21 and slightly above 21 when that particular increase was made. So from how the kwacha is performing this month, we have not yet gone below 20 or below 21. We've been at 21 and above. So for me, it shows that we do not expect a reduction in fuel prices this particular month. We are still going, maybe I think that the price might remain the same or increase slightly. I don't see a reduction. If really the performance of the kwacha against other major convertibles is one of the most important factors in as regards the prices of fuel, then I don't see it coming down, actually, because we are above what we were last month when we saw an increase.
Yeah, I think you are right, and there's been that debate just among stakeholders in terms of the projection of how things will be after this entire period, and what next are we supposed to expect as a country going forward when it comes to issues of fuel prices, and what is it that you're supposed to be doing. But hopefully things also get to balance, because at the end of the day, predictions are there, and then everyone is also entitled to their opinion, but we see how things get to unfold. But I think this time around, let's get to zoom some of the stories that we had yesterday in our main news bulletin.
Sure, we are now getting to zooming in some of the stories that were making the headlines in yesterday's news. But before we do that, remember that you can get interactive with us by going to our Facebook page and following that particular page and sharing it so that a lot more people can follow it. And then you go to this particular broadcast, because it is live on Facebook, go to the comment section and leave your comments and contribution in that particular section, and we'll be more than happy to see what you think about what we are looking at this particular morning. Let's get to the stories that were making the headlines yesterday. The first story is a very interesting one, because it says pupils at Makandwe Community School in Namuyaobo village in Katuba constituency who are learning in grass-thatched classes calling on government to help rehabilitate Makandwe Community School, which is in a dilapidated state. One of the pupils, Charles Musaka, explains that most pupils are forced to cover over 11 kilometers in order to access the community school, because the public schools in the locality are about 11 to 15 kilometers apart. But a non-governmental organization, Zambian Relief Organization, has adopted the school and pledged to build a 1x2 classroom block to cater for over 280 pupils. Let's have a look at this report.
Access to quality and eco-education is one of government's priority in fostering development as enshrined in the 8th National Development Plan, United Nations Sustainable Goal number 4 on education, among others. With the reintroduction of free education, enrollment numbers have increased, but for this growth-thatched community school, which accommodates over 248 pupils in Katua constituency, it is a different story as the infrastructure is dilapidated. The pupils are therefore seeking for interventions that aim at improving the state of infrastructure at the school.
Tromba urumende ambati chakire chikolo itugwanira kabo tukategwa bamayo babambire into kuti abahora kabo tukabo
kolo chiri kuiderago onse abari waba mubajirega kurampa kuchikolo chanda kuti tubamenda kuno kujana menda kulaho soko kulira kwesu kuti twerara ababiyesu.
The teacher in charge, Rosia Siewajene, explains some of the challenges the school is facing.
The learners, I've got ECE grade 1 up to 6. I can't stop this school because maybe I'm alone. I've just to fight hard so that I go up to that extent to say, if as you have come, you ZRO people, to support me, assist the government in this journey of changing the scenario of this Makande community school.
The traditional leadership of Namuwoyo village is also concerned. A non-governmental organization, Zambian Relief Organization member Constance Chisanga is saddened that early marriages have also taken shape as a result of non-availability of schools in the area.
Are still happening here, which is about 60-70 kilometers away from Lusaka. There are a lot of early marriages, kids not going to school because the schools are very far. There is no clinic nearby. People have to cycle from here up 11 kilometers away to access health services.
Meanwhile, the organization has pledged to build a 1x2 classroom block to address the current challenge.
Sure that we put up a structure here and to cooperate with other stakeholders, the community here and also the government itself, so that we can see how we can help the children there so that they can continue coming to school.
This is why we have donated some books, pencils to encourage the school-going children, starting from the preschool up to grade 6, as we have been told.
And community school chairman has held the pledge by the organization.
More and more stakeholders to come on board to help us build together this school, or more so the government. We've been lobbying the government through CDF to come to our aid, but we are still waiting for them up to now.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Katuba.
That's Makandwe Community School in Katuba. Interesting. You did this particular story, and Katuba is not far away from where we are seated. It makes me wonder. It makes me want to think about a far-flung area in
Southern Province, Shangombo.
In Shangombo. From Shangombo Boma, a far-flung area from Shangombo Boma.
Well, it really makes a sad reading. I think even the time I went there, I couldn't believe what I saw, because after being tipped that was what was happening, I didn't know that the kind of infrastructure that was there was in that state. And when you look at the classes that are there, these are over 280 pupils.
Sure.
That go to that school, and there are about 7 classes, 1 teacher. And then the teacher, even the housing or the house that is there, it's something else.
Sorry. 7 classes, 1 teacher.
Yes.
How is that even possible? 280 pupils.
Over 280.
Over 280 pupils against 1 teacher.
Yes.
And these pupils are not in 1 grade.
Not in 1 grade. So you'd find that maybe they're using, actually that school, it only has about two classes. So it means they are sharing classes for them to actually.
Grass thatched classes.
Yes. You just put it right. You just put it right. And what was so disheartening for me was the fact that they've tried to lobby with the local authorities to ensure that they channel some funds, to ensure that the school is rehabilitated, they put up a good structure, but that has only ended up being a lip service to say we're going to come back and this is what we're going to do. Well, I think it is so worrying. Because in this time and age, we're talking about 59 years of independence.
And Katuwa is just here.
Yes, just nearby.
Katuwa is not far away from here.
It's not far from Lusaka.
Oh, that's sad reading indeed. That structure that man was coming from, you say, is the
house.
Teacher's house.
Yes, that's a teacher's house. The one with a blue tent on it, on top of it, and that's the house of the only teacher.
But would that structure survive
after the rains? That's a question now the community is also worried about, and they only hope that with the coming of that organization, things would tend to move at a pace where the teacher is helped as well as the community school is helped. Yeah.
Okay, so that is one of the stories that we are looking at this particular morning. You can go to our Facebook page and give us your contributions on some of the stories. That is one of them that we are looking at this particular morning. Nelson.
Yes, let's move forward with another story coming through from the Zambian National Marketeers Credit Association, Zanamaka, which is concerned with the delayed disbursement of market booster loans to some of its members in Lusaka's Soweto market. Zanamaka General Secretary Jones Ngala says panic has gripped most of its members due to the delayed release of the funds. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News Wednesday, Mr. Ngala has however expressed happiness that officers from the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEC, have addressed some of the aggrieved marketeers. Let's get to look at that story and we'll be back shortly.
The Zambia National Marketeers Association, Zanamaka, has bemoaned the delayed disbursement of market booster loans to some of its members at Soweto Market in Lusaka. Association General Secretary John Zingala says since the Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, distributed the loans in December, it has not given fresh members.
First, the ones that benefited initially, it didn't delay so far, but the ones that applied from January, February until today, it has. I can say that the process has delayed.
Mr. Ngala, however, says CEEC officers have addressed the would-be beneficiaries and disclosed that traders will receive 1,000 kwacha booster loans, not the requested amounts of 5,000 kwacha.
And this is now November. They haven't received their money which they applied for. They even signed against their names. The list was brought from the CEC, and our members signed on that list saying no, now they're going to be given the money. But from that time until today, they haven't been given the money, and they've been complaining here and then, asking us why the process delaying. We promised them that we're making follow-ups to the CEC. We've met the Director General, CEC Director General several times, and has promised that he's going to pay any time. So now, we even wrote to the Commission, say no, can you explore some of the people from there, the officials, to come and address the people here concerning the delays, of which they did.
Meanwhile, marketeers have expressed excitement with the assurance of receiving the market booster loans. Despite reduced amounts.
Right there from some of the marketeers that are expressing concern in terms of the disbursement of the marketeer booster loans. And we saw Zanamaka, which is an association that looks at the plight of marketeers, also coming to the fore and explaining some of these issues. I don't know what your perspective has been when it comes to issues relating to funds that are aimed at improving the plight of various people out there, among them marketeers.
I think this is a very important way of ensuring that citizens are empowered, helping them boost their. Because what the feeling that I have is that from the COVID-19 pandemic, most people have not yet recovered, especially these small-scale business men and women. They really have struggled to come back, and they're just trying to stand on their feet, and the cost of living, the cost of doing business is again becoming a little bit tight for them. So I think that it is very, very important that these people are empowered, and we are hoping that the CEEC sticks to the promises that they've made to these marketeers, because as you can see from those that were spoken to, they look very, very hopeful, and they feel that they need this money. They requested for 5,000 kwacha, and they were told they will only be given 1,000. So I think it will go a long way.
Yeah, but possibly, I think for me, I would also maybe just try to get a perspective from the commission itself, in terms of how many marketeers have actually benefited, because there's been a perception that these loans, these market booster loans, have actually been more utilized in rural parts of the country. But what about those that are in peri-urban areas? What is the status, and how many people thus far that have actually been empowered? Yes.
So that is about the booster loans. Marketeers are still waiting on the CEEC for those particular loans. Let's move on. Let's get to politics now. And the story that I have says the Patriotic Front PF has vowed to ignore directive by the Registrar of Societies to order political parties without elected leaders to hold conventions in 60 days, as it is illegal. Party Chairperson Information and Publicity Emmanuel Mwamba says the statutory of societies has based the directive is illegal and amounts to internal party interference, and the party will disregard it. Mr. Mwamba has since accused the government of maneuvers to deregister PF, but that the party will seek a legal counsel on the matter as it is unconstitutional. Chief Registrar of Societies Tandiwe Mhende, in a circulating notice to all political parties, has directed for internal party conventions to elect leaders, among other necessities to be followed. Let's have a look at this report.
The Patriotic Front PF says it will disregard the notice by Chief Registrar of Societies to all political parties to adhere to internal democratic processes, including holding elections within 60 days. Chief Registrar of Societies, in a notice circulating citing Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security Gazette number 592 of 2023 of 9th May 2023, issued in exercise of power contained in Section 3, Subsection 2 of the Societies Act, Chapter number 119 of the laws of Zambia, has ordered political parties to hold conventions and elections within 60 days, among other requirements. The PF has been gripped with a slow inertia to hold its elections to elect party leaders. Party Chairperson Information and Publicity Emmanuel Mwamba addressed the media over the directive, describing it as illegal.
Ministers acted in an overreaching manner and has acted illegally. The Chief Registrar of Society cannot outlaw our party constitution. She can't. Because the effect of a directive that we should go to party conference within 60 days is that it doesn't matter what is provided for in our party constitution.
Mr. Mwamba says the party will explore options to fight against the illegality, including possible partnering with other parties. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwamba says government is acting on speculations following Chief Government Spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa that it is seeking legal advice on Mr. Lungu's political stance.
If President Edgar Lungu wishes to come and stand, you can't stop him. But he has not said, he has told you he has resigned. Why are you calling him back into active politics? So, sir, we are watching this space, but we can warn them that these activities are futile.
The internal drama has engulfed the party, with some top leadership sued for contempt by Material Member of Parliament, Mao Sampa. Without doubt, the spectacle has now taken to the national stage.
Thank you very much. So that is about the Patriotic Front and the Registrar of Societies. So they feel that the Registrar's directive was illegal for political parties to elect leaders in the next 60 days.
Well, they're entitled to their own opinion, but what is surprising is that this is a party that is saying they want to bounce back in power, and that promised earlier on this year that they are going to go to the convention in October. So what has happened? What has changed? Is it that the house is not in order for them? Is it that they're not ready? Is it that they're facing some challenges? Because I feel even 60 days is a lot of time, because this is the party that told people to say we are ready to go to the convention in October, and we want to ensure that we elect our own president. And for me, the issue relating to President Lungu bouncing back into active politics and the like, I think from what I've seen, there's just need to ensure that the PF just look for, that's my own opinion, the PF just look for another person to fill that position. Because I remember the last time Esther Lungu was actually arrested at Ibex Hill Police, a question surfaced somewhere, and then the president didn't want to be, the former president rather, didn't want to be put on camera. He said, for me, I've run my race, I'm tired, let me rest. So if truly that's the case, or that's what they believe in, why not go to a convention? Yeah, I think that would be my 2 cents on the issue. But again, I don't know the illegality aspect of, I'm meant to believe the Registrar of Societies of Zambia is there to look at the welfare of these political parties in terms of registration and how things are supposed to be conducted. They provide guidelines. So what is it in ensuring that you are provided with the guidelines to say follow this order so that we ensure that we are in harmony?
Good morning to you, Christine Mukuka, and of course, Doreen Chabo. Good morning. We are happy to know that you are keenly following this show on Facebook. And also, not forgetting Kingsley Majila, who is in Mazabuka. He says, good morning, guys. How are you doing this morning, guys? We are together from Mazabuka, sweetest town in the southern province of Zambia. Guys, keep up. God bless you. And have a nice day. Thank you very much, Kingsley. We really do appreciate your support. We do appreciate the fact that you have chosen channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Top Star. So those are the platforms you can catch us on. We are also on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to contribute, you can go to our Facebook page and leave your contributions on the comment section of this particular broadcast. However, you can also call us on the numbers that are on your screens and tell us what you think about what we are discussing this beautiful morning. We did look at a story of the Patriotic Front saying the directive by the Registrar of the Societies is illegal, and we were also looking at another story of a school in Katuba constituency where pupils are learning in a grass-thatched classroom, and which is in a dilapidated state. And one may think it is a danger to pupils, especially when it's raining, as we are getting into the rainy season. That's the other story that we were looking at. We also did have other stories. So what is your take on these particular stories that we are looking at as a citizen? What do you make of these particular stories? Now, Honorable Hendrix Kasanda says, following the program and the proceedings. Thank you very much, Hendrix. We really do appreciate your support. Nelson.
Yes, I was just about to also get your perspective on this issue of the PF vowing that they're not going to follow the directive by the registrars of society. Is it that this directive is coming at a time when everyone was not willing to actually go into this convention, or could also be the aspect of where others now are alleging that this is one way of killing the former ruling party? Yeah.
Firstly, Mr. Mwamba says that the statutory instrument that the Registrar of Societies has based this directive on is illegal. But before we continue, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Morning, thanks. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Munsaka from,
Mr. Munsaka from where?
from Temba.
Mr. Munsaka, please go ahead and give us your thoughts, Mr. Munsaka.
Yes, let me make your own complaining about the directive and the registrar of the time. I think to me, I can advise the trust to provide like a law and regulation which parties and it's some very important for us that governs the well-being of parties. I think they are within the confines of law. You know, these people, they are preparing for conference one day. And so in their life of their care, they should be ordered and people should see and they make sure that if they form government again, it will be a good government. So if they are failing to govern with sectors themselves, then how are they to govern themselves? So no wonder they are saying, let them get organized so they are given to use country. So if these guys are used to lawlessness, let them change with time, because now we want people who are law-abiding. We don't want someone to condemn even where someone is called law. I'm sure they are posting the law in the Constitution. So why do you want to go against the Constitution? You want your own ideology to be followed. No. Yes, that's why you have to talk about the work that I have done. So now can you Thank you very much. We are not happy about here. Want you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Munsaka. We really do appreciate your contribution.
Yes, before
Sure.
Before Mr. Munsaka came in with that advice to say the PF should reorganize. You're about to say something.
I was saying that they feel that the statutory instrument that the Registrar of Society used to give that particular direction, a directive rather, is illegal, and they won't abide by it. So there's need to analyze the statutory instrument and what it says, so that we see who is right. Because the PF has always said they are going to a convention soon. So I think that this should not worry them.
Yes,
because they are going to the convention after all. Now, when they begin to say they will not follow that directive, it's basically politicking. So I think that after they said they are going to a convention in October.
Well,
we do have another caller.
We do have another.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you are calling us from?
I'm calling you from
You're calling from where?
Solwezi.
Okay, sure. Go ahead, sir.
This is a wonderful topic, and with the discussion we are talking to me, how we.
Oh my God.
We
lost that particular call. Please, you can call us back on the numbers that are on your screens and give us your thought on what we are looking at this particular morning. Remember, this is the Camnet Breakfast Show, and we have had quite a number of stories. The Patriotic Front, their thought on the directive by the Registrar of Societies, and we did also have a story talking about a school in Katuba constituency, which pupils are learning in grass-thatched classes. We do have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Very well, thanks. Your name and where you are calling us from?
Calling from?
What's the meaning of that?
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah. And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel. For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel. For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time. Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time. Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time. Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to
Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time. Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and
Lakini tuliposhe bana fia sasa. Ushe umwana na nyina. Ingana bakutuluka. Uwinge wo munankwatira sambe nani. Mule ipisha yini. Shenya abo mwikere nabo. Akora kansheko alakula chancha mukero kula chekerera. Usho mwana na nyina ngana babutuka. Uwinge wo munankwatira sambe nani. ingatamwishire lekani twepushe bana fya sasa ushe umwana na nyina inganaba butuluka uwingewo munankwatira sambe nani mweyipisha ino ipishenyi abo mwikere nabo twandiletera akora kansheko alakula chancha mukero kula achekerera usho mwana na nyina nganaba butuluka uwingewo munankwatira sambe nani ingatamwishire lekani twepushe bana fya sasa ushe umwana na nyina inganaba butuluka uwingewo munankwatira sambe nani mweyipisha ino ipishenyi abo mwikere nabo twandiletera akora kansheko alakula chancha mukero kula achekerera usho mwana na nyina nganaba butuluka uwingewo munankwatira sambe nani ingatamwi.
Thank you very much. Sincere apologies for the break in transmission that was due to circumstances beyond our control. However, the program continues, and before that break in transmission, we were looking at some stories that we were making headlines yesterday in our main news. We did look at a story talking about the Patriotic Front and saying that they will not adhere to the directive by the Registrar of Societies because it is illegal. We are also looking at a story of a school in Katuba constituency where children are learning in grass-thatched classes. Coming to think of it, those classes, do they even have desks in there?
No.
Okay.
They sit in some sort of more like a tree-like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's get to pick this call before we even get in. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are through to Camnet TV. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, I'm from
Please go ahead, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Mr. Kombe from the team.
Mr. Kombe, please go ahead and give us your thought.
Yes, I just always wonder, the other day, one of them is like, why is it always the Pacific Front? Whenever question is raised against the Pacific Front, he's always very happy. I want to ask him, when did they ever hold the convention? So they've never held a convention. But each time there is a one against the PF is very happy. The PF has got its own constitution. They will decide on any day they're going to hold a convention. So this is the directive from the director of the Secretary came after the pronouncement of the self-responsible. A political state from the PF has to tell the nation to get the rule is not to under the president. Then the PF two presidents at the time they put right. The Israel never held the convention when they were in their position. So this the PF comes to PF and then the government cover the problems we have and the living payments, fuel payments, electricity and so on. This is the Kakua, that report is had a few on the benefit of parliament for that place is not to be a deal. So it's just going to put the PF in the plastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming through. We really do appreciate your contribution. You had given an explanation about your thoughts on the PF's decision not to adhere to this directive by the Registrar of Societies.
Yes, and I think I was in between with my understanding with what is happening there. I think they've said, for me it was more of a question, they've said that they're going into a convention. So now, with a directive that has been provided, why not go to a convention that you've been preaching about? Remember, this is a body that looks at the welfare of political parties in the country. So I think I don't see anything siding.
Mr. Kombe says the PF, we'll come back to that. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, I'm Patrick from Soweto.
Mr. Patrick, please go ahead and give us your contribution.
Last time got hard when I'm smoking. My contribution is, I wonder, I don't know, that's my first question now. How do you look at this before you introduce that topic to the public? Is it not important that you have invited people that can help us, like less lawyers, like people like Zangwa, to be with you, so that such people to make us, because information, that's why you are finding different answers, different questions, different opinions from people, because we don't know what the law says about only the mandate for the, or rather the information that has been given by the registrar. And we don't know what it is. And me, I can call myself a black person, I can just to explain or question people, and know yes, they are in the right body. Here we don't know if it is right, or the register society is right. So why did you invite such people? Why don't you invite such people? So that they can clarify and be pushing the reform forward. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much for coming through. We really do appreciate your contribution. That's Mr. Patrick from Solwezi. Before he came in, however, you were still talking about how you think that the PF had promised to go to a convention and they must go to the convention, and the Registrar of Societies have given a directive as regards political parties and them going to conventions. And maybe before you respond, we appreciate Mr. Patrick's contribution, and we do hope that we have these people in the studios so that they come and help us understand some of these issues. So, your thoughts?
Well, with the diverse of perspectives that have been brought to the table, I think for the Registrar of Society, for them to take such a step, they considered certain issues that are supposed to be followed. And it's now upon the Patriotic Front and other political parties to follow or not to follow. Just like they've said, they're going to seek legal counsel. Well, let's get to pick this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You are a bit faint.
Yeah, morning.
Oh, very well. We're able to get you now. Where are you calling us from and what's your name?
It is Mr. Kamboy from.
Okay. Go ahead with your contribution.
I've just been looking my television and I'm still very interested in the stock platform. And I wanted to be good in that part so that we can the contribution.
Hello? Oh my goodness. The line is not very clear, but we would appreciate if you called us back so that you give us your perspective. Now, this is a time where we give you, our viewers, to give us your perspective, your thoughts on some of the topics, that some of the stories that we are looking at, some of the stories that were making the headlines in yesterday's news. We give you an opportunity to tell us what you think about these particular stories. So we have a story from the Patriotic Front where they said they would not adhere to the directive by the Registrar of Societies because the society, the directive from the society is illegal, because the statutory instrument they used to base that particular directive is illegal. So that is Emmanuel Mwamba from the Patriotic Front who did issue that particular statement. So we have another interesting story from Katuba where pupils are learning in a glass-thatched classroom. What other stories are you looking at?
Yes, the other story I think that we also heard yesterday was a story on some Lusaka residents who will be displaced by the implementation of the Lusaka Transmission, Distribution and Rehabilitation Project, say they are willing to vacate their properties provided they are well compensated by the power utility company ZESCO. A Chawama resident identified as Bridget Banda says ZESCO has taken long to compensate them and that the cost of living has now gone up, hence the need to relook into the matter to ensure that they will be given tariffs with the current prevailing economic factors. And ZESCO head of environment, who spoke to the stakeholders at an engagement, says the affected communities are encouraged to submit their authorization forms in order to allow the company compensate the affected families at once. ZESCO is expected to undertake a project for the implementation of a 132 kilovolt transmission grid in Lusaka at a cost of 248 million United States dollars. Let's get to look at that story.
Zambia's power utility company ZESCO is in the process of commencing the implementation of the Lusaka Transmission and Distribution Rehabilitation Project that will consist, among other things, the rehabilitation of the 132 kilovolt and 88 kilovolt transmission network in Lusaka area. However, the project comes at a cost for about 80 families in Lusaka's Chawama, Misisi, and Avondale areas who will have to be displaced in order to create room for the project. It is for this reason that ZESCO Wednesday morning held a consultative meeting with the families and stakeholders of areas that will be affected by the project in order to raise awareness on the importance of the project.
We are having two important lines that we want to construct at 132 kV voltage level. So the one line is coming from Chawama through Mrs. At Mrs. we even do a new substation, which we then to call GD substation, and that line proceeds to Coventry. Coventry is another substation that is near Zambia headquarters in the industrial area. So that is one of the lines that we want to discuss today. And then the second line is coming from IBEX near the ZAF twin pump base, and this line is going all the way to Avondale substation.
Bonja Muyanda is ZESCO head of environment who took time to explain the resettlement compensation plan to the families that will be affected by the project.
In terms of the compensation framework, what we look at is what are the compensation benefits for the PUBs being the project affected persons. We then look at the eligibility classification. What aspects do you look at in terms of who should be compensated arising from impact your project? Compensation alternatives, what can be considered in terms of what the PUBs, who are the project affected persons.
Ms. Muyunda has since appealed to community members in the affected areas who have not yet submitted their authorization forms to do so to ensure that all the affected are compensated on time. Meanwhile, some community members spoken to have agreed to take the compensations but have asked the power utility company to take into consideration the current economic challenges now that the money has lost value from what was earlier evaluated.
I read as long as they compensate us with enough money. You know, the economy as at now has risen. So, according to our standard of living, we are not okay.
Anda tufunene since kila fintu tawapangira tutufe twaikala munshi yafiena tukwira twasera twayoko.
It's okay, lewakamba wa ZESCO, it's okay, it's moving zaenda mwakambira kuti ati mzaenda mpeze na my friends wena nkwe mzaenda. But chamatika luganiza hapo nchakuti ati since last time 100 kwacha mwenze lili maybe last year sindiye mwiriri manja so nje ma questions yakali kumtima kuganiza kutati manje since tinasayina kutaraja mapapers yenangwe so my vizankala bwanja papeti enda forward.
The project is being financed by the World Bank, the European Investment Bank, and the government of the Republic of Zambia at a total cost of $246 million United States dollars and is expected to be completed by the year 2026. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, those are some of the residents who are saying we're actually willing to vacate once you compensate us well. And the complaint is that you've taken long to compensate us. Give us our dues and then off we go so that we...
But it's not like they've chased them from the houses.
Yes, it's not like they've chased them from their houses, but I think it's some sort of... while it's rehabilitating this transmission, there might some aspect of where the distance of their houses to the transmission cables are nearby, and then it's now raising safety concerns, and then we're saying, no, I think you need to...
But what I think is that ZESCO shouldn't have started the works before relocating the people that are there. So I think that they should have taken them to a safer place, like they did with the people in Kafue Lower, that used to stay Kafue Lower. They had to relocate them and then start the works. So now that they have started the works, that as you are putting it, transmission cables are closer to the
to the houses.
Yeah, I think there can be accidents there. So I think that it is important that they are moved before works start.
Yeah, that's one of the stories. I don't know if you still have one more story that we can get to look at before we close, or maybe we get to accommodate another caller.
We see if we can pick one or two more calls before we get to the end of the program. As you might be aware, today Thursday, the 12th of October rather, 2023, there is an international friendly match. This is a FIFA window, and Zambia,
Egypt,
is playing Egypt, and I think that this is a very good test for Zambia going into the 2024 AFCON. This is a very, very good test. We need to play teams like Egypt, North African teams. I think those are the teams that have given Zambia headaches to beat.
North African teams, with exception to Algeria, because we beat them the other time. Oh man, no way. Or maybe we should stick to Morocco.
Yeah, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt have been difficult. It's a good test, I think. You see, one other thing is that this is a high-profile friendly, I think. Not every time friendlies we are playing smaller teams.
What do you mean by smaller teams? They say you cannot undermine an opponent. An opponent is an opponent.
Yes, I agree with you. An opponent is an opponent. But if you want to go and fight a grade 12 pupil and say he's an opponent, I think, let's look at the FIFA rankings as we pick opponents. So we should always strive to pick opponents that are ranked higher than us.
Numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Opponents that are ranked higher than us on the FIFA ratings or on the Africa. Yes. We should look at teams that are higher than us. We had one of the best ever friendlies that we had was the Zambia-Brazil. I think that one we had a lot of lessons that we learned from that.
Back then, after the AFCON.
After winning the AFCON, yeah.
Yes.
So I think those are the teams. We want to see a friendly between Zambia and England. We want to see a friendly between Zambia and Spain. We want to see a friendly between Zambia and Holland. A friendly between Zambia and Germany.
I know you've been a keen follower of Zambian football, even just football in general.
Yeah.
But someone would say the team is still being formed. We still don't have maybe a starting 11. So how do you even go to England? How do you even go to Spain?
That's the best way of forming a team.
But your prediction going into the game?
My prediction is Egypt have put up a strong team. Yeah? They have brought Mo Salah, El Neni, all the strong guys. They're back. It's a FIFA window, so everybody is back home. Because in Europe, people are playing Euro qualifiers. Everybody is back home, so it's a strong side. So to be fair, because I'm beginning also to think that Zambia is a strong side. We are very, very strong. I think we have good quality players.
Yes,
it's
we
only
do.
a matter of lining them up. We have Fashion. We have Lamek. Lamek is not playing for this one. We have Fashion. I'm just saying players that are available. We have Fashion. We have Lamek. We have Patson. We have Kalulu. What's Kalulu's name? Evans Kangwa.
Evans Kangwa.
We have Evans Kangwa up front. We have Mwepu up front.
Francisco
Mwepu
should
up
mention,
front.
please.
Yeah, I think these are players that, and Tiger, Edward Chilufya. I think these are players that have shown serious improvements in a few years, and these can be devastating to any team. You see how Fashion is destroying everybody in Saudi Arabia. And Lamek Banda, before he got injured in Italy, he was a marvel. Patson Daka has always delivered, and Francisco is also delivering
in Spain.
Yes, if the midfield is a headache to Avram Grant because of the quality that is there. You see what Cletus Standa is doing in Tanzania, and he never even gets an opportunity to play for the midfield. Lubambo Msonda is awesome.
Yes.
I think that
Kingsley Kangwa
is a project that we must guide. That guy is a marvel. Zambia is a strong team. Zambia 3, Egypt 2. That's my prediction.
Zambia 3, Egypt 2.
Yes, that's my prediction.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how much you're putting on the table. I don't know how much you're putting on the table.
If we don't win this game, I'll what will I do? I'll have my hair shaved. Bald head.
Bald.
Yes.
Okay. No. Okay. It's a good agreement. Because for me, I'm thinking the fair result, just to be fair, that we can get probably a draw.
No, we are beating Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the quality. We have Zambia now has proper. It's just up to the coach, and I think the coach is doing a good job. He's winning this one.
Well,
I put my head on the chopping board. He's winning this one.
Mr. Kozi has placed his head on the chopping board.
Yeah.
Zambia 3, Egypt 2. What are your predictions? What do you think about this international friendly? How should it be? And what is your general overview, even as we head towards this friendly?
My only problem with the team, I think, is the goalkeeping department.
Yeah, I think
we have not replaced Kennedy ever since he left.
It's going to be a bit difficult to replace Kennedy Mwene, but I think he, what's the name of that guy? Lawrence. He just needs some sort of mentorship. I think, for me, he's proving to be one that can replace Kennedy Mwene. Just need some sort of maybe encouragement, mentorship, and
do you know what, with the goalkeeping department in Zambia, we see very exciting prospects that come up. And then from nowhere they just disappear. There was a goalkeeper called Danny Munyao.
Yes.
And when Danny Munyao came on the scene, we all thought this is a perfect replacement for Kennedy.
And Danny Munyao is nowhere to be seen now.
He just disappeared. Then there was another boy from Power Dynamos again, Kakunta. He was a marvel. From nowhere, the boy has disappeared. We had Toaster, we thought, this one is a bit. But anyway, he's there, and he's still performing, and he's still with the national team. We had this Charles Muntanga. We thought the Nkwazi goalkeeper. We thought we have hope here, but he's.
But for me, if you tell me to pick the best three, I would still go for Lawrence. Sabat and Syria Mwanyachuku. I think he's not that bad. Just needs some sort of mentorship, just like I've indicated.
Mwenya, he's another goalkeeper we thought maybe this one is going to take over from Kennedy. So the team has been growing, and we have seen people that have been for a while now. Patson has been with the national team for a while. Fashion has been with the national team. Emmanuel Banda, they graduated from under 20, the 2017 under 20 team. They have been there, but from 2017 to today, how many goalkeepers have we changed? Sirio has been there. Toaster has been there. Lawrence has been there. Who is this young boy who was the goalkeeper at the Kosafa? That just ended Kosafa. He also has been there. So
Alan, is it Alan Chiu?
Not Alan. Alan also disappeared. Alan disappeared. There was this goalkeeper who was at Green Eagles. I've forgotten the name. He was at Green Eagles, then he went to South Africa, and now he's back. He should be somewhere on the Copa Belt. He disappeared.
Wow.
So the goalkeeping department, really, we need a lot. Goalkeeper coaches in these clubs should do a little bit more. But there's a goalkeeper that has been around, a goalkeeper that has stood the test of time. I think he played for NAPSA, he played for Nkana, he played for Cabo Warriors. He's with Cabo Warriors now, Scott Kungokene, but he's Congolese. I don't know, there was talk about him getting Zambian citizenship. I think he has been. He's one of the goalkeepers that have been around for a while. Others will come and go. Others will come and go. So all these goalkeepers that we have spoken about now found Ngokene, and they are leaving him. Most of them are leaving him. They're disappearing to who knows where. But Scott has been around.
Maybe we're still waiting for Mangani Banda to grow up, and then
he's 25.
He can get the national team spot at 30.
yeah, but they say the older you grow, the
wiser you become.
Yeah, for goalkeepers. And if you look around, Buffon has been around for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
For as long as I can remember. Kennedy was 36 when he stopped, so he had been for a while. Most of the goalkeepers, I think, still play. Ngokene himself is not a young guy. He has been around for a while. I think that, and Mangani is not bad. He's the kind of goalkeeper. Goalkeeping is a problem.
Goalkeeping is a problem.
Racha from Zanaco. Also, we thought, this one.
Yeah, whatever we like. I don't know.
But whatever the case, Zambia is beating Egypt today.
Okay, that's a good vibe I've gotten for the day. Zambia beating Egypt.
Get a para,
Okay, on that sporting note, I think we'll have to come to the conclusion of this morning breakfast show, the Thursday edition, with me, Nelson Zulu, as well as Kozi Makoko. It's been quite exciting. Be rest assured to join Kozi. I think that's 12:40 with the Lunchtime Cafe, as well as be able to join Prudence Chota tomorrow with Camnet Business Breakfast Show. You are having breakfast with Prudence Chota, and we keep you abreast with the information in terms of what is happening. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel, and we shall continue to load you down with what is happening both local and internationally. For now, we say bye, but still remain locked to Camnet TV.